Hi there and welcome once again to Joe Roberts Travel. In this vlog today I want to talk about the town of Cromarty in Scotland. This was a town that I visited last summer. Size-wise it's somewhere between a village and a town, and it is a very lovely place. I had a fantastic holiday there, so I thought it would be helpful to share some of the experiences I had whilst there, and hopefully somebody somewhere will get something out of that. So first off, Cromarty is a very beautiful place. It's quite an attractive town, and it is on the Cromarty Firth, and it's an inlet just off the North Sea. So it leads out onto the North Sea, and there are actually a few oil rigs in the Cromarty Firth. Cromarty sits on that inlet of water, and it's very common for people to go sailing in those waters, and many people go on guided tours where they get to see dolphins. So I'm just going to run through some of the features of my stay in Cromarty, which was a 5-day stay. And first off, I want to talk about accommodation. I stayed in an apartment, and it's at a place called the Byre. That's Byre, and it was an absolutely lovely accommodation. It was in tip-top condition. It was also excellent value for money as well. So I stayed there for my 5-day stay. And if you manage to rent one of the apartments there, I can't recommend it highly enough. Secondly, the facilities there. So there is a restaurant within walking distance of the shore in Cromarty. Cromarty's not a big place, so you will find that it doesn't take very long to get pretty much everywhere there. There's a couple of restaurants, maybe 3, actually yes, there's 3, at least 3. One is a pizza restaurant, which I had a meal in, and it was absolutely fantastic. The other is a pub where I had a meal, and it was pretty good. The third was a hotel. I didn't have such a good experience there. The lunch that I tried to have in there actually was given to me with a part of the inside still frozen, so I gave it back and I didn't repeat the experience. But the other 2 places that I went to, particularly the pizza restaurant, were fantastic. Couldn't fault them. There's also a few places there that you can buy lunch, and there's some shops and things as well. So there is a few choices there as regards where you can eat, and most of my dining experiences were positive ones. As regards places to see whilst you're staying, there is a shoreline, obviously, which is a nice walk. There's also a number of walks. There's a hill that you can walk up, and there is a monument at the top of the hill dedicated to Hugh Miller. Hugh Miller was from Cromarty, and he was a famous geologist and folklorist, and there's a rather nice monument at the top of a hill there that you can walk up to. There's also a few other walks amongst some woodland in that area. Generally speaking, there's a few decent walks there. Also, there are a few tourist attractions, the main one being Cromarty Courthouse, which is quite an old building. There are also boat tours that you can go on. I myself went on one of those tours. So you go out with a group of at least half a dozen other people, and the objective of the trip is to see dolphins. Now, on that particular occasion, I didn't actually see any dolphins, but I did see a very large selection of seabirds. There's a variety of seabird colonies in that area, including cormorants, shags, guillemots as well. And I got to see all of those, and as an avid bird watcher, that was a really positive experience. So the boat tours that you can go on there are with a company called Eco Tours. I recommend them very highly. They were very professional. They did a fantastic job, and that particular excursion was excellent. Other things to talk about. There's a couple of other places near to Cromarty that you can visit. One is basically a hamlet called Jemimaville, which is notable for the fact that they have a viewing point of some lagoons there, and it's an RSPB reserve. And if you go into the viewing station that's near the little RSPB building, you will be able to get excellent views of birds on a lagoon in that area. So sort of feeding, mating, etc. it's a very well-known spot for them, and that site is protected by the RSPB. I went to that and used my binoculars, and it's a very good spot for that, so I recommend it for that if you are into nature or bird watching. Another place nearby to Cromarty is a place called Nig, and again, Nig is not a big place. There really isn't much there except a large factory which makes wind turbines. It's known for that. It employs a rather large number of people in that area. Nig is quite a beautiful looking place. It's very picturesque. It also has a Pictish trail, and I didn't do the Pictish trail, but I did do a walk there, and I did some photography as well, and there's some absolutely stunning scenery in Nig. You have to get the ferry there. It's a very short ferry ride from Cromarty, and when you get there, there's basically just a beach and some cliff tops, and there's also the Pictish trail as well. So if any of those things interest you, it's definitely worth a visit. So that's pretty much everything that I can say about Cromarty. Generally speaking, it was an excellent break. Cromarty is in the Black Isle. It's a little bit further north than Inverness. I would say it's maybe an approximately 1 hour bus journey from Inverness. So it's really not that far from Inverness, and I got the bus there. There's a bus connection between Inverness and Cromarty. It's fairly regular, so yeah, I really liked Cromarty. I liked my accommodation. The scenery was beautiful. It was a very peaceful place, very quiet. I also got a good impression of the place in general. It was very clean, very well looked after, and if you're looking for a sort of peaceful, semi-relaxing break in Scotland, I recommend it. But if you're into a sort of more fun, action-packed holiday, there are a few options where that type of holiday is concerned as well. Lovers of beautiful scenery and nature will also not be disappointed. So that was my review and vlog on Cromarty in Scotland. I hope you've enjoyed it. Bye for now, and thanks for listening.